ओम ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। यन्नित्यमानन्दमनन्तमेकं शिवेति नाम्ना श्रुतयो गृह्णन्ति तस्यावतारो नररूपधारी कृपासुदाब्धि भुवि रामकृष्णः। जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयो श्रुत्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। सत्यव्रतं सत्यपरं त्रिसत्यं सत्यस्य योनिं निहितं च सत्ये सत्यस्य सत्यं मृतसत्यनेत्रं सत्यात्मकं त्वां शरणं प्रपन्नाः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। यस्यात्मभूतस्य गुरोः प्रसादात् अहं विमुक्तोऽस्मि शरीरबन्धात्। सर्वोपदेष्टुः पुरुषोत्तमस्य तस्याङ्घ्रियुग्मं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम्। The life of Bhishmacharya was a grand example for the Vedic assertion Satyameva Jayate. This character conquered Parashurama, who happened to be Bhagavan's avatara, or you can take Bhagavan himself brought out the glory of this character, that if a person is committed for this particular value called truthfulness, even Bhagavan cannot win over him. That was the story we saw in the last class, when he refused to obey Parashurama's order that Bhishma should marry Amba. Both of them fought, and finally Parashurama had to withdraw. While withdrawing, Parashuramji gives a beautiful blessing. My dear disciple, like you, nobody will be there as a warrior. You will be remembered in this creation as a committed person for truth. You did not violate the truth even when I myself came and tempted you. You declared that Naham lobhan na karpanyad na bhayan artha karanat tejeyam shashvatam dharma iti me nishchita matihi. You declared to the entire creation and to me also that you will never violate the dharma, either for the sake of greediness, lobhat, na karpanyat. Out of kripanata, you will not violate dharma, na bhayat, out of fear, na artha karanat, out of desire for wealth, you will not violate dharma, because dharma happened to be shashvatam. Na tajeyam shashvatam dharmam iti me nishchita matihi. It is my firm conviction that this shashvatam value called satyam can never be renounced, either for the sake of wealth or power or greediness. Therefore, one should keep this value in his entire life. These are the first test given to Bhishmacharya for his commitment for truth. Then came another test from the Satyavati, for whose sake Bhishmacharya took the vow that I will be an unmarried person. When Satyavati's children, both of them were passed away, the Kuru Vamsha did not have any progeny. Therefore, mother herself comes and says, please marry someone and give a future prince. Then also, Bhishmacharya says, Mother, you being the mother status depends upon that vow. Because I gave you that promise, you are married to my father, therefore I can never violate this promise. So in the second test also, Bhishmacharya passed. And then came third test in the form of Krishna. Bhagavan Krishna wanted to show to the world that this Bhishmacharya is committed to the truth up to the end. One may be following one value when he is young, because he is strong, he is powerful, he is intelligent. But what will happen as even the age grows, people settle down. They call it settle down. What is the meaning of settling down? Compromise. And if anybody says, yeah, you were like that, when you are young, you are committed for all these beautiful values, what happened to you? Then the person may say, Swami, you don't know what is marriage life. You cannot live in this society. If you are very much particular about those values, you cannot live in this society, you don't know. So now at least I am settled down. Settled down for what? Settled down for violation. But in the case of Bhishmacharya, he was as vigorous as when he was young with regard to this commitment called truthfulness. What happened? On the 9th day of Mahabharata war, Duryodhana was scolding Bhishmacharya that this Bhishmacharya is not at all fighting for our sake. As though he is fighting for our sake, actually he is not fighting for our sake. Like that he was scolding. Because Duryodhana could not know the power of dharma. The subtlety of thinking was not there. Because however much a powerful person tries to destroy a person who follows dharma, Pandavas were following dharma, therefore they were invincible. Neither Bhishma nor Drona can conquer them, because Bhagavan himself is on the side of Pandavas. This fact that dharmo rakshati rakshitaha satyameva jayate, this fact was unknown to Duryodhana. He was wondering, on our side 11 Akshauknis, on the side of Pandavas only 7 Akshauknis. And on our side, giants like Bhishmacharya, Dronacharya, Ashwatthama, all are there. That side, 1 or 2 fellows are there. But still they are winning. How we are losing? What is the reason for the Pandavas' victory? Bhishmacharya knows that their victory completely guided by this dharma, because at the cost of their life they have followed. Pandavas followed dharma at the cost of their life. Therefore, that dharma was protecting them. This was not known to Duryodhana. Therefore, Duryodhana was suspecting the integrity of Bhishmacharya. Then out of irritation, Bhishmacharya takes a vow, all right, tomorrow if my fight is not going to be stopped, I will arrest Apandava Bhumim Karishyami. I will make this earth get rid of Pandavas. That means what? I will arrest them, then you take care of them. That was the vow. Then when it was told to Draupadi, Draupadi came crying to Krishna. Then Krishna told, no, I cannot do anything, because here the vow was taken by whom? By a person with whom I was defeated in Parshurama Avatara. I myself had cut my nose already, so I cannot defeat him. I cannot make him to take back his vow. So what to do? Panchali, like that, he was also crying. Then Panchali told, I cried thinking that you will help me. Now you are also crying. What is the way? Then somehow Bhagavan designed a trick and took Panchali to Bhishmacharya himself and made her to get a blessing from Bhishmacharya, Dirka Sumangala Bhava. Without seeing the face of Panchali, Bhishmacharya gave this blessing. Because when Panchali was bowing down to Bhishmacharya, that bangle sound he heard. Being a brahmachari, being a person with purity, he was not willing to see who is bowing down. So he understood that some lady is bowing down since the bangles were there. Maybe she is a married woman. So therefore, he blessed her, Dirgha Sumangala Bhava, like that thrice. Then again and again, Draupadi was bowing down and she asked whether your Ashirvada is a truthful one or not, like that. When she asked this question, it was like snake bite for Bhishmacharya. What? Bhishma's words will go wrong. Like that he saw her. Then only he understood it was Draupadi. Then now he is caught. Because one vow he has taken just 5-10 minutes before, that Apandava bhumim karishyami, I will make Panchali as a widow. That was the vow, meaning of the vow. And now Dirgha Sumangala Bhava. Which vow he has to follow now? Then this was the trick made by Bhagavan Krishna. When Bhishmacharya came to know that Bhagavan has cheated him, then he scolds him. Bhagavan says, how I cheated you? I have not made Panchali to change her dress and come in a men's dress, jeans pant and other thing. I was not given to her. She has come as Panchali only. No, I have not seen her. It is your problem. It is your problem that you have not seen someone who is asking for blessing and you bless them. No, I will not follow the second one blessing. I will not keep up that vow. Then it is your problem. You do. Anyhow, if you keep first vow, you will be liar with regard to second vow. Anyhow, if you keep second vow with regard to first vow, you will be liar. Like that, when Bhishmacharya was cornered, now what to do? Then Bhishmacharya says, all right, you are trying to seduce me. You are trying to make me as a man of untruthfulness. I will take one more vow. Tomorrow, I will see you as Chakrapani, and by that, I will make you as a liar. Because Bhagavan gave a promise to Duryodhana that I will not take any Ayudha, Nirayudha Pani. As Nirayudha Pani, I will fight on the side of Pandavas. So now I will see that you become a liar. Bhagavan heard, no problem. So many times I have jumped the traffic. So many lies I have told. So nothing is going to be added. So I am Purnaha. Nothing is going to be added, like that. He did not bother about it. Then he came. Then what happened? Next day, Bhishmacharya was fighting like anything, and all the Rajas and the other warriors were running away from battlefield, and Arjuna was crying, hey, what happened for this grandfather? What happened? In the last class I told, Chavana Prash, one tonic is there, it seems, whether our grandfather has taken Chavana Prash or what, like that, he was telling. Then because of Arjuna's grief, Bhagavan takes Chakra, and he goes to kill. He runs towards Bhishmacharya to kill. Our Bhishmacharya remembers this in his deathbed. Swanigamam apahaya mat pratignyam rutam adhikartum avapluto rathastaha dhritarata charano abhyayachalat guhu haririva hantumibham gatotariyaha. Aha! Oh Bhagavan, what a sight it was. What a sight it was. Without even having properly dressed, you came running keeping the chakra in your hand. Gadotariyaha. Out of anger, you forgot the decency. Because just without upper garment, Bhagavan was running, it seems, towards the Bhishmacharya. It is like people are quarreling, means that time what happens? One fellow removes the shirt and they try to fight. You become indecent person in front of all others. Came Gatotariyaha. You revealed your physical beauty to me. Because you need not run towards me to kill me. Just sitting there itself, just send one chakra. I could have been killed already. Why you ran towards me? Because I took a vow that I will see you as Chakrapani. Therefore, in order to show to me your darshan, hey Bhishma, whole life you told the Satya. Now you see, this also I made, this promise also, this vow also I made as Satya. Therefore, I have come here as Chakrapani without even having properly dressed. Mat pratignyam ritam kartum. In order to fulfill my promise, in order to make my promise as a truthful one, oh Bhagavan, you have given up your promise. You have given up your promise. People, rishis are Rishis are praising you, Satyavratam, Satyaparam, Trisatyam, you are a Satyasandaha, Satyavrataha, embodiment of Satya, but that embodiment of Satya becomes Asatyaha for the sake of fulfilling the promise of the Bhishmacharya. What happened? When Bhagavan went towards there, then again Arjuna came and fell at the feet of the Bhagavan. Hey, you don't take the credit of killing Bhishmacharya. I will take the credit. During Gita, Bhagavan told, Nimitta matra bhava savya sachin. You told that all credits will come to you. Like that you only told. Now you are trying to take the credit. You come back. I will kill. Like that. Finally what happened? Bhishmacharya was put into the deathbed by Arjuna's arrows. That time, this Bhishmacharya says, Mat pratignyam ritam adhikartam. To protect my words, you came as Chakrapani. All the vows were fulfilled. What are the vows he has taken? First he told, I will make you to take Chakra, Aida. Bhagavan took Chakra and fulfilled. Then he told, Dirgha Sumangala Bhava. That also was fulfilled because Arjuna defeated Bhishmacharya. Before that he gave promise to Duryodhana. If my fighting was not obstructed, Apandava Bhumim Karishyami, like that. There was an one if for Bhagavan. This if is always a useful if always he takes care of this if. Because uncertainty is there. So by not allowing Bhishmacharya to fight further, and that promise also was not violated. Therefore, Satyameva Jayate. A man of truth alone wins, even if Bhagavan comes as though as an opponent. Bhagavan can never be an opponent to a man of truth. But he may come, he may pretend to be as an opponent in order to verify the strength of the commitment. Then we may say, that is why, Swami, we don't want to write examination at all. We know all will fail. Then Shastra says, Bhagavan also knows all will fail. That is why Bhagavan doesn't do examination for everyone. Only those who can withstand his examination, towards them only he will go for all these tests. But that is the criterion that to show to the world that even if Bhagavan appears as the opponent to the truthful person, finally truthful person alone wins. Then you may ask, where is the question of Bhishmacharya winning? Finally he was defeated by Arjuna. Where is the question of winning? How you can say that he has won? Shastra says, winning in life doesn't mean freedom from physical death. Physical death is going to happen for any person. Even if Bhagavan comes with a physical frame, he has to give up that body. So that is not the winning. Nor enjoying pleasures in life can be considered as a winning in life. Even pigs enjoy. Swami Vivekananda used to say, like dogs, nobody can eat. There is a pleasure in eating. If you don't know, you try with that Baskin Robbins and one ice cream is there, but very costly. There is a pleasure in eating. But can it be called as a success? So I have eaten all the items cooked in the world. Can anyone say? Can anyone boast that I am successful? How, sir? I could eat everything, including snakes and monkeys. In one country I heard they kill the monkey, hot blood they used to take like soup without cooking. Can that person say that I am successful in life because I have ordered all the pleasures in the world? Can anybody say? So what is the meaning of being successful in life? While analyzing Satyameva Jayate in the initial portions, we saw, as Bhagavan Ramji says, a life is successful when it fulfills 3 or 4 criteria. First criterion is that life must be a life of self-dignity. Second criterion is that life must be without hurting others. Third criterion is that life must be a satisfied one. Fourth criterion is the life must be a model to others. Even after the physical demise of that person, this world should remember that person with reverence. That is the sign of victory in life. Here you see, when Bhishmacharya was in deathbed, he was waiting for Uttarayana. Yudhishthira, even though he won in the war, he lost all his people. He lost his elder brother Karna, he lost his grandfather Bhishmacharya, he lost his teacher Dronacharya, lost all the relatives and others, all lost everywhere only loss and loss only. Therefore he was worried. So in order to get rid of that worry, he came to Bhagavan's palace. As even he entered, the security guard told, please wait, Bhagavan is meditating. Then for Yudhishthira it is a very peculiar statement. Bhagavan is meditating. Bhakta is meditating, okay. Bhagavatar is meditating is okay. But Bhagavan is meditating. We all meditate on the Bhagavan. Bhagavan meditating on whom? So he was wondering when Bhagavan Krishna came out and he invited his elder brother Yudhishthira, and Yudhishthira asked, I heard from your security guard that you are meditating. On which Lord you are meditating? Everybody says that you are the Lord. On which Lord you are meditating? Then Bhagavan says, I have many lords. Who are they? Those who follow Satyam, those who are committed for values, they are my gods. On which God you are meditating at present? Then Bhagavan says, on Bhishmacharya I am meditating. Come, let us go to Bhishmacharya. Bhishmacharya was in the battlefield, lying down, waiting for Uttarayana Paksha. Then both of them go there. Seeing them going, all the rishis and devatas, all others are going there. For what purpose? Bhagavan goes there to give send off. See, generally a person doesn't get send off at all. Okay? Normal man doesn't get send off at all. Suppose you are good to someone, that person will be crying, Yo, poringle. Why you are going? Somebody will be crying, wife and others will be crying, Ayo, poringle, ivlo kadana vechitu poringle. This much loan you have kept and you are going. And another fellow may be crying. Apparently, everybody may be crying, but inside intention of crying is what? Only Bhagavan knows or that person knows. One person may be crying, hey, this fellow has taken this much loan, he has not paid me and he is going. And another fellow may be wondering where this password he has kept, whether he has ATM card or not. Where is the ATM card? I was wondering where is the ATM card and to whom he has gifted house. Like that, everyone will be wondering about their future after the death of the dying person. So nobody gives send off. Even when somebody says, Poitarana paravailla, if he goes quickly it is nice. Even when somebody says, what is the meaning? Without disturbing me, if he goes quickly, it is nice. Correct? Poitarana paravailla. When he goes quickly, it is nice. That means what? Without disturbing me, if he goes quickly, it is nice. So nobody gives send off to any person in the creation. And here is a person who gets real send off from his relatives, and not only from relatives, from Bhagavan. So Bhagavan and other Pandavas are coming, and all the rishis were already there to give him send off. Then Bhishmacharya was very happy to see Bhagavan, because the courage of a person lies in his maturity when he gives up his body. The courage of the person lies in his maturity when he is going to give up the body. We came to know that the leader of a grandest terrorist movement had to hide. The leader of anti-national movement, which kept the military of the nation under tender hooks for 20 years, 25 years, when his final time came, he was hiding. He was keeping other innocent people as human shield. So how can you say that person is a courageous person? So Shastra says, are you courageous? Then let me see how you are going to give up your body. Because When you consider yourself as body, you can never be courageous in giving up it. But here Bhishmacharya was so happy person because he had that blessing from his father, that Icha Mrityu, and he can postpone his death also, but still he want to give up his body. There, when Bhagavan and others came, Bhishmacharya says to Yudhishthira, Yesha vai Bhagavan Sakshat Adyo Narayana Puman Mohayan Mayaya Lokam Gudascharati Vrishnishu Asyanubhavam Bhagavan Veda Guhyatamam Shivaha Devarshir Narada Sakshat Bhagavan Kapilo Nrupaha Yam Manyase Matuleyam Priyam Mitram Suhruttamam Akaroho Sachivam Dutam Sauhrutat Athasaratim. O Yudhishthira, Yam Manyase Matuleyam Priyam Mitram Suhruttamam, whom you are considering as your friend and relative and well-wisher, you know, to whom you gave the duty of being a driver to Arjuna, you know, Yesha vai Bhagavan Sakshat Narayana. All religious people want to remember the Lord at the time of death, correct? All religious people want to remember the Lord at the time of death. But here, Bhagavan remembers that bhakta at the time of death. See the grandness of that person. So that person says, I know that he is none other than Bhagavan himself. Sarvatmanas samadrisho hyadvayasya anahangrate tat kritam ativaishamyam niravadyasya nakvachit. Hey Yudhishthira, he doesn't take sides at all. He is sarvatmanaha samadrishi. He doesn't take sides at all. Then Yudhishthira may say, no, he was fighting for our sake. No, he did not fight for your sake. He was standing on the side of dharma. Because dharma was there with your side, therefore he was with you people. So, anahankrite. There is no kartrutva bhava at all, that I am doer, I am going to do this. This idea at all is not at all there in the mind of the Lord. How can he say, tat kritam mati vaishamyam? How can he say that he loves you particularly and he hated the Kauravas and Duryodhana and others? So it is nothing but the grace of the Lord. Even though he doesn't take sides, but now he has come to my side. Tathapi ekanta bhakteshu pashya bhupanukampitam yanme asuntejataha sakshat krishno darshanamagataha. Tathapi, even though he doesn't have well-wishers and enemies, but still, now you see, he has come to me in order to give me final send-off. That is nothing but anukampitam. That is nothing but compassion of the Lord. Ekanta bhakteshu anukampinam pashya. In order to see the Lord, one has to travel to Vaikunta or one has to do all types of tapasya. I don't know whether I have done any tapasya at all. Whole life I did only what? Fighting. Whole life I fought. But fortunately I fought for truthfulness only. Then we may ask, how can you say he fought for truthfulness? How can you say he fought for Duryodhana? How can you say that he fought for truthfulness? Then Bhishmacharya will tell, no, I never fought for Duryodhana or Dhritarashtra. In order to protect my promise, I fought. What was the promise I took? As long as I live, I consider the king who sits on the chair as my father. That word he gave to Shantanu. But he never dreamt Duryodhana type of people and Dhritarashtra type of people will come and sit there. And as long as I don't see the protection of the country, I will not give up my body. That also promise he has taken. So in order to protect those promises, he was on that side. Bhagavan knows the truth, correct? Bhagavan knows the truth. Bhagavan doesn't see only external things. He knows the truth. Therefore, he being an Atma Bandhu, he has come. There were so many Sharira Bandhus. Bandhus means relatives. But none of them can accompany the departing soul. Only Bhagavan and the person's punya karma is going to accompany me. So being a Atma Bandhu, he has come. Anta kalecha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yaf prayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra samshayaha. Bhagavan Krishna says to Arjuna in Gita that if a person passes away remembering me, meditating on me, he will attain me. That was the promise given to Arjuna and to the world. Now he made not only to remember the Lord, but he himself is presenting with physical form in front of me. Then he says to Lord, oh Lord, when you go to Sargaloka, they may worship you with Parijata. If you go to Patala Loka, they may worship with their presentation. But when you came in front of me, how I worshipped, you know? How I worshipped, you know? Yuditura gajo vidumra vishwa kachalulita shramavarya lankritasye mama nishita sharaihi vibhidyamanatvache vilasat kavachestu Krishna Atma. Bhishmacharya says, when you came in front of me, when you were standing in front of me on the chariot as the charioteer for Arjuna, how I worshipped, you know, all Vishnu Sahasranama, there I gave you in the form of arrows. Vishnave Namaha. So arrow comes. That arrow should reach whom? Arrow should reach whom? Vishnu only it should reach. If other fellow gets that arrow, that fellow will become Vishnu. Therefore, Bhagavan, it seems, he never allowed any arrow which was coming from Bhishmacharya. He never allowed any arrow to miss. He will jump this side and take that arrow. He will jump the right side, left side. Like that, he used to jump and take the arrows from the Bhishmacharya, because of which his body was pierced and he was bleeding. Kacha lulita shramavarya lankritasye mama nishita sharaihi vibhidyamanatvachi. I pierce your body with the sharp arrows, but still you understood that is the way of my worship. You accept not only flowers and bananas, you accept arrows also, provided if it is given with devotion and if it is given by a man of truth. O Lord, to you my final prostration. Tamimaham ajam sharira bhajam krutirdi dishtitam atma kalpitanam pratidrishamiva naikadharkamekam samadigatosmi vidhuta bheta moha. This is the self-certificate for a person who follows truth in his life. He can give to himself. What is the self-certificate here Bhishmacharya gives? Here he says, I am free from the ignorance that I am body. Vidudha mohaha, bheda mohaha. Samadhigatosmi vidhuta bheta mohaha. Now I understand that everything is nothing but your Leela and there is only one truth. What is that truth? What is that truth? Advaitam. Ekameva advitiyam Brahma. Nothing is there other than Bhagavan, other than the Lord, other than the conscious entity. Nothing is there. Hriti dishtitam atma kalpitanam tam aham imam ajam sharira bhaja. Even though you are ajaha, you take all the forms of all these jivas. That truth that I received. Who says? The receiver himself says. Bhishmacharya himself says. Because of his life of character, Bhagavan himself says in Gita, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayantite tesham evanukam partam aham ajnanajam tamaha nashayami atma bhavasto jnana deepena bhasvata. Arjuna, I give them knowledge about the reality that there is neither birth nor death, neither what we call sorrow nor elation. This knowledge I give them being their inner conscience. I give them For whom? Teshameva anukampartham. Out of compassion towards those who were committed to principles of life, who are committed to devotion and the values of human life. So, not only Bhishmacharya was successful in his worldly life, in his personal life, in his social life, he was successful even in spiritual life also. Therefore, the Vedic assertion called Satyameva Jayate is truthful one with regard to Bhishmacharya also. We are seeing series of grand personalities' life. Now we will go to another grand personality who happened to be one among the Pandavas. His name was Sahadeva. He is a beautiful character. What happened? War was fixed. It was decided that both will go for war. Kaurava side, Shakuni, Karna, Duryodhana and Dushasana, they were all thinking what to do, what is the next step. Then Shakuni Mama was very much worried. Because when Bhagavan Krishna came as the messenger, he showed a magic and went out. What magic? That Vishwarupa Darshana he showed. So all fellows were afraid and other Rajas may take that side also. So he was worried. Then Shakuni Mama told Duryodhana, if you want to win, it must be by the blessings of other devatas. Locally you cannot win. Therefore, in order to get the blessings of other devatas, go and find out that auspicious moment. On which moment, if you start this particular adventure called battle, you will win. Then Duryodhana asked, who will tell the correct time? Who will tell the correct time? Who will tell? Sahadeva alone will tell. What? Sahadeva will tell. Sahadeva is on the opposite side, uncle. How can you say that Sahadeva will tell? Then Shakuni says, even though he is opposite side, he will never tell a lie. Who says? Enemy side fellow says. See, if a person follows values, other people who follow value, if they praise, it is okay, understandable. Opposition party suppose praises. What will happen? That fellow will be removed from the opposition party. Correct? Here, Shakuni Mama says, Sahadeva will never tell a lie. Even if you go and stand and ask him, you please give me that auspicious time by which I will win. Sahadeva will give it according to the astrology because he was a great astrologer. He will give you the correct time. He will never tell a lie. So, whether Duryodhana believes in the words of Bhagavan Krishna or not, he will believe in the words of Shakuni Mama. That much conditioned his mind. So he comes to Sahadeva. Everybody was wondering, hey, why this fellow has come? When Duryodhana came, Pandavas are wondering. Then Duryodhana straight went to Sahadeva. Sahadeva, I have some personal talk, please come. So they both went to the room and Duryodhana told, see, I have faith in your truthfulness, so we are going to fight and I should win. What is the auspicious time? Can you tell me? Then Sahadeva says, wait Anna, please wait, I will tell. Then he calculated and he fixed that time on the Amavasya day, so and so time, you do this puja, nobody can win you. Duryodhana was very happy. Do you mean, Sahadeva, do you mean? I always mean what I say, Anna. I always mean. I never say actually. Actually word I never use. Because if I use actually, whatever I said before is what? Not actually. Nowadays boys and girls, many people, they use the word actually what I want to say. That means what? Before what you said is not actually. I never say actually. Whatever you say is actually. Then Duryodhana was very happy and he came back. When he came out, these all other fellows were, the other Pandavas and Krishna also was there. And everybody was wondering, what happened? Suddenly some friendship has come. What happened, Sahadeva? No, it's not friendship. It is a profession. What profession? No, you all know that I am astrologer. He came to fix a auspicious date and time for beginning the war, and by which he will win. Then Bhima asked, what you did? I gave the correct time. You gave the correct time? You want Duryodhana to win? No, that I don't know. But whatever time I gave is the correct time. Do you know the consequence of this? We will lose. We will lose. Then who will protect? That is the problem of Krishna. I cannot tell lie for the sake of winning in this small war. He says, what? Small war? Small war? It is life and death question. It may be life and death question, but it is small in front of the grandness of the eternal truth. Our life and death is very, very small. Now, ball has gone to the court of Krishna. What to do? Now, Bhagavan has to protect this devotee because he cannot say, all right, you have told the truth, you die. He cannot say, because Satyavameva Jayati, he only told in Shastra. Satyavan Eva Jayati, he only told. What happened? One day before Amavasya, Krishna requested all the rishis to come. Whenever Krishna asked, rishis come. Along with Narada and other rishis, all of them come, and all of them were standing on the Ganga bank. They started Shanti mantras. Shanti mantras. All the rishis started chanting Shanti mantras. This Kaurava side also was there only, na? So they were wondering, hey, today is Amavasya, tomorrow is Amavasya. No, tomorrow only. That means Sahadeva fooled us. No, he can never fool. He can never tell lie. That means this Krishna is doing today itself puja. This fellow will do all nonsense only. When he did things properly, you leave it. Who told? Shakuni Mama told. Then what happened? Here, all the rishis were chanting, and puja was not started. Only chanting was going on. Rehearsal type. And other Pandavas were wondering, hey, what happened? The enemy is going to do puja in the correct auspicious moment, and we are asked to do the puja in the wrong moment. What Krishna you are doing? You have faith in me, you come and follow. That's all. All were waiting for doing puja. By the time, whenever this Leela happens, these Devatas are there, na? They were generally bored with Ramba Urvasi dance. So these type of Leelas, for them it is very nice. New serial. Okay, TV serial type. New serial. So they also came, and Surya and Chandra were wondering, hey, so Chandra was asking Surya Devata, brother, tomorrow only we should face each other, and today itself this Krishna is doing Tarpana Puja. Let us go and ask Krishna himself. So both of them came. Surya stood left side of Bhagavan, Chandra stood right side of the Bhagavan. They were about to ask question. Immediately Krishna gave one signal. All rishis started real puja. Then keeping them both side, puja nicely completed. Pitru Tarpana over. Then they asked, Krishna, what happened? Have you become mad? Tomorrow only Amavasya day. Tomorrow is the auspicious day. Tomorrow whoever performs the puja, he is going to win. And is the Sahadeva idiot? Instead of telling lie, he has given the correct date also. And you know that instead of protecting these Pandavas, you are again playing same side goal. Then Krishna asked, what is the auspicious day? Amavasya day is the auspicious day. What do you mean by Amavasya? Definition. What do you mean by Amavasya? Don't you know this also, Krishna? No, I may know, I may not know. You please tell. Because you are the authorities. Who are the authorities with regard to defining Amavasya? Surya and Chandra. So both of them in chorus they told, the day in which we are seeing each other face to face is called Amavasya. Then Krishna asked, now how you are facing? How you are facing? Then they understood this is the Maya Jala of Bhagavan. See, Bhagavan can change the cosmic rules. Not for you and me. Generally we expect, na? Impossible thing it would have been, and we will go and pray to the Lord. Somehow you manage. When we ask, somehow you manage, O Lord, he will ask, why should I manage somehow? You manage somehow. Because he will not interfere in normal people's life. When Namadeva was asked to do puja, Namadeva thought, really Bhagavan comes and partakes that food. That was his faith. When his father asked him to go and offer the food, the child was thinking that it is a real eating. Therefore, the child was adamant in requesting the Lord, you come and eat, otherwise they will beat me. You come and eat, otherwise they will beat me. Then what happened? Bhagavan cannot come. Just because somebody asks, how can Bhagavan come and eat? But this child, when this child Namadeva asked, Bhagavan came, Panduranga came and ate. When the child came with empty plate, everybody thought the child has eaten the food. Now they ask, now you should show once again that he is eating. Then the child thought, they told, if Bhagavan doesn't eat, you will get beating. Now Bhagavan ate, again they are beating me. Like that, next day also he went there and requested the Lord to come and take. That day also Lord was not coming immediately. Then he prayed, oh Lord, if you don't come again, they will beat me. Paroksha priyaha devaha is the rule. Devatas, Lord doesn't come in front of any person ordinarily. But there are some occasions in some grand people's life wherein he himself changes the cosmic rule. And one was that exception wherein this cosmic rule was changed for the sake of protecting this grand person called Sahadeva. Because he was so bold, so convinced. How can, when I follow truth, how can I be the loser? That was the conviction of Sahadeva. Now what is the general conviction in the present modern day, modern scientific and progressive society? What is the present conviction? How can I win if I follow truth? What was the conviction of Sahadeva? How can I lose if I follow truth? Now the present conviction is what? Swami, you don't know, they have given you one table also, they have given you have some book, old book, and from there you are telling you don't know the present day condition. How can we win if we follow truth? That is the question now present generation asks. But Shastra says, whether it is modern or old, whether it is in Satyuga or in Kali Yuga, the rule is same. There are some constants. Satyam is one constant, Shashvatam Dharma. You cannot give up the Shashvata constant. Don't rub with constant. In the process, you will be rubbed off. Suppose there is a constant neem tree. With regard to your movement, there is a neem tree which is constant. It doesn't move, correct? So you go and rub. Probably without any upper garment. You go and rub backside. In the process, what happened? You will remember that rubbing 1 week. They have to put ointment. Understand? So in the process, you are rubbed off. Therefore, one more example is the Sahadeva's commitment to the truth. Satyameva Jayate. Then another example, Arjuna. This Arjuna took a vow, if I don't kill Jayadratha tomorrow before sunset, I will enter into the fire. When Kauravas heard, when Duryodhanas heard this, they were very, very happy. Now their project is simple, very simple. What was the project? Protect Jayadratha, that's all. Arjuna will die automatically. See how they were convinced about the truthfulness of the enemy. Enemy side, one fellow takes a vow. This fellow is so much convinced that the Arjuna will follow the truth. See, he is convinced. Opposite fellow is convinced. Duryodhana was convinced. So they have arranged Chakra Vyuha and Jayadratha was protected. And Krishna came and asked, hey idiot, why you have taken this type of promise? What will happen tomorrow? How we know? No. In angry moment, I have taken this vow. What was the reason for his anger? Because Jayadratha was instrument in killing Abhimanyu. Therefore, on Jayadratha I have anger, so I have taken vow. I don't know whether I am going to win or not, but if I don't kill him, I will die. All right, let us see. We will try like that. Krishna and Arjuna, they were fighting. It was impossible for them to even reach towards the Jayadratha. Then where is the question of fighting with him? So by the time, almost 5-10 minutes maybe there, then Arjuna gave up his attempt. Bhagavan saw, oh, if I now give up this fellow, then what will happen? Asatyameva jayate. So satyameva jayate, because it is his promise. Veda is nothing but the Lord's words. Asya mahato bhutasya nishvasitam etat. Veda is nothing but the breathing of the Lord, Shastra says. So what Bhagavan Krishna did, you know? By his chakra, he simply covered the Surya. Because chakra was not visible for everyone, not even for Arjuna. So Arjuna thought, sunset is over. As even sunset happened, all the Duryodhana and others are very happy. Now Arjuna, we know that he will certainly follow your truth. Now only. They were telling, we are having full faith in your promise. Now you follow your promise like that. And they were trying to be the witness for Arjuna's death. By the time Jayadratha also came out in order to see how Arjuna dies. Because sunset is over. Then as even Jayadratha came out, Bhagavan took back that chakra which was covering the sun. He just withdrew his chakra. Then sun was shining. As even sun was shining, these fellows' faces became pale. Hey, sun is shining. Arjuna also shouted, hey, sun is shining. That's what I said, kill. Here only he is. See, here also, Bhagavan violated manipulated the cosmic laws. So all these stories are nothing but evidences in the scripture for the assertion that a person who follows, who committed to this particular value, can never be a failure in life. He may be a poor person, he may be an illiterate person, he may be without power and position, or even without recognition in the society. But as far as his life is concerned, it is a life of self-dignity, it is a life of utility and usefulness, it is a life of blessedness to the society, and it is a life of model life for the society. Still, we have some 3-4 grand personalities. Those details we will see in the next class. Satyavratam satyaparam trisatyam satyasya yonim nihitam cha satye satyasya satyam rita satya netram satyatmakam tvam sharanam prapannaha. Om shanti 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 harihi om tatsad. Sri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu.